Okay, Brooklyn Prepper back here again. Today, actually it's the same day, but that's how fast you can do this stuff. I'm gonna do some mushrooms, right? I cut my mushrooms, I slice my mushrooms up. You see the thickness? Nah, you don't gotta be, if you have a slicer it would be better. I want to eventually get a slicer, but I cut these by hand, right? And I'm gonna do some spinach. I got some bags of spinach here, right? And I'm gonna dehydrate spinach and some mushrooms. Right, cooking time on these things is anywhere from 3 to 7 hours. Okay? Alright, so let me get started with the spinach and I'll show you how simple it is. No treating for spinach, no treating for mushrooms. Just cut them up, take them out of the bag, put them on the trays, and you're ready to start dehydrating these things. Like I said, we'll get into the more complicated things later, but I'm going to show you all the good stuff you could do without treating. This is a 1 pound bag of spinach, and I got another 1 pound bag of spinach. Alright, I got my mushrooms. I think I'm going to make some more mushrooms, but just to give you an idea right now. Okay, be right back. Okay, what I'm going to do is I just take my spinach and I lay it out on the tray. As simple as that. Alright? Now you don't got to worry about too much of it overlapping. You know, just get it on the tray. Right? It's a little moist right now from coming out of the refrigerator from the bag, but it's all going to dehydrate. So it'd be fine. Okay? Why is it important to do spinach? I don't know. Ask Popeye. He knows why. Yeah, you ever watch Popeye? Spinach makes you strong. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a bunch of trays like this and drop them in my dehydrator. It's that simple. Okay, and I got my mushrooms. Right, what I like to do, I spread the mushrooms out nice on the tray. And there you go. So here's mushrooms. You know, can dehydrate these little babies. Alright, and what I'm going to do with the mushrooms and the spinach, with these ones, I'm going to put them in jars. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so here's my mushrooms. Okay, mushrooms. Let me put this in the thing. There you go, close up of the mushrooms. Now they're going to go in. Okay, what I got going on here, I removed some of the trays. I removed some of these trays from the Excalibur, right, just to have a little bit more room for my spinach, right, so because it raises up a little bit. So I got all my spinach trays all ready to go, okay, and right down here, I got my mushrooms, hitching a ride with the spinach, because they basically take the same time to do. It's always good to do certain vegetables and stuff that take the same amount of time to dehydrate, right. So I got my spinach, I got my mushrooms. Alright, going to put my cover on. Alright, make sure the bottom's closed up. And there you go. Alright, I'm going to set this, same thing like I did the other vegetables, to 125. Right? And it could be anywhere from 3 to 7 hours for this stuff to be done. I have a feeling the mushrooms are going to get done a lot faster than the spinach, right? Because the spinach is bulked up together. But hey, it's still going to taste great. And then when I come back, I'll show you how to do put them in the jars with the oxygen absorbers and be ready to rock and roll with this stuff. Okay, I had these guys in the dehydrator for about an hour and an hour and a half. So what I like to do after that time, I like to just mix them up a little bit, right? So they pretty much dry evenly. Right? Not much, just mix them up. You see them already, they're starting to really shrivel up. This is going to make some great spinach stuff. You could use in cooking, in soups, you could use it in bread, whatever you want to use. Hey, I just want to make a when I'm waiting for my my spinach and mushrooms to dehydrate. I just want to show you guys something really quick. Alright, I have a leftover pork roast. We had a little party, and I have 2 chicken rolatinis. I wrapped them in saran wrap. And what's good about your vacuum sealer, I'm not going to eat these for a while. Right? But what I'm going to do, I'm going to vacuum seal them, right? And then put them in my freezer, and they last a long time once you vacuum seal them. I don't got to worry about freezer burn then. So that's a little quick note. I'll show you when it's all wrapped up. So you got to remember, any leftover food you have, right? If you're going to freeze it, you know, put in a vacuum seal bag, and you won't get any freezer burn, and it will last a long time. This was what was this? I can't even remember what this was. This was, oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm going brain dead. This was a pork roast. It was a stuffed pork roast, and these were chicken rollatinis. Delicious. You know, we get them at a pork store around here in the neighborhood. Right? But now I can put them in the freezer and I don't got to worry about them. I can eat them whenever I want to. They'll last a long time in the freezer. All right, that was just a quick note when I'm waiting for my stuff to dehydrate. Thanks. Okay, guys and girls, I got my spinach is all done. See, nicely dehydrated. See how nice and crisp? It's like the fall in my house. You know, nice and dry. That's the way I want it. Now I could put them in my jars. My mushrooms. See how the mushrooms are nice? I shouldn't be touching them without gloves, but I'm just going to touch this one. See how nice? Nice and dried out. That's going to go in my jars now. Okay? So let me get my jars and I'll show you how to put them in the jars. It's really simple. Okay? So this is it. That's it took 4 hours at 125 to dehydrate this stuff. Right? This is 1.5 pounds of spinach, and I forgot how much was in mushrooms. I think it was almost 1 pound of mushrooms. All right, so they'll nicely dehydrate, and I'm going to jar them up. I'll show you in a second. And now the fun part. See, I got my gloves on. You want to have your gloves on. Now the fun part. You start just taking your spinach, put it in your jar. You know, like I said, you could use this spinach for, you know, making dips or adding it to the soup. Right? A lot of options with it. It's nice and dehydrated. As soon as that water starts getting back into it, boom, you got spinach again, right? And this is a lot of spinach. You got to remember, my friends, when you're adding this stuff to your soups or anything, make sure, watch how much you put it in there, because it doesn't look like a lot, but when it starts to expand again, it's a lot, right? So fool around with it when you're cooking with it. So what I do, I push it in. See, spinach you don't want, I don't care if it's brittle, you know, so I try to pack it all in there. Okay, let me show you when I'm done, and I'll show you else. Okay, see, I got the jar filled up, pushed it all down. What I'm going to do, 100 cc pack. I put that right on the top, right? I put my lid on. You got to remember when your jars and everything, make sure they're clean and make sure they're totally dry. Okay, so you want to make sure they're dry. All right. I put the cap on. Turn it tight. That oxygen absorber is going to suck the remaining oxygen out. And there you go. I got spinach in a jar, and what I'll do, I'll make a bunch of these up, and I'll use them. As I'm using them, I'll replace them. So I make some more spinach, right? But there you go. But when I got them in the jars, they stay in my kitchen, and I use them. I use them with my soups and everything else. Okay, let me show you the mushrooms. Let me finish this one out. I think this one I can fit in a smaller jar. But there you go. Spinach in a jar with an oxygen absorber. Ta-da! Okay, and there we go. I got the smaller jar. Now this is going to pop my mushrooms. Remember I cut those mushrooms up? This is what you want them to look like. You know? See them, you hear them? They're a little leathery, a little really dried out. You know, dehydrated food is dry. Alright? Now I'm just going to put all my mushrooms in here. Right? And then I'm going to add an oxygen absorber. Seal it up, and it's going to be fine. It'll last me forever. Right? But like I do, the stuff I put in the jars, right? I always rotate them. So I use them as I'm making soup, so I'm making something, if I'm making a London broil or something, I'll reconstitute some of these mushrooms and make a little sauce. There's tons of things to do. You always have fresh vegetables at hand, you know? So once you get a nice little stock up, you'll be doing great. Okay, I'll be right back. Here I go. My oxygen absorber goes in. I get my cap. Make sure I get a good seal on it. And you know, and people think stuff like this is hard. It's really simple. Anybody could do it, believe me. It's a great thing to do. Once you have your dehydrator, your vacuum sealer and stuff, it's a great thing to do. Now I got my mushrooms. I got my vacuum pack in there. Right? These things are going to stay fresh forever. Right? They outlive me. You know? So what I could do, I could take some spinach. I could take some mushrooms. Right? I go outside and kill a pigeon and make a little pigeon soup out of them. Hey, but one thing, if you're going to get pigeons, You don't want to kill a pigeon. You want to capture the pigeon, right? Put him in your house, feed him up, fatten him up. So by you feeding him some good stuff, he detoxes his body from all that garbage he'd been eating in the city, right? And then once he's nice little fat, you know, you take the sucker and turn him into soup. Right? Pigeons ain't bad. Hey, they eat them all over the place. They're a delicacy. There you go. There you go. All right, I hope this helped out. So I just want to show you how easy it is. It's simple, right? It doesn't take much to do. All you got to do is have your dehydrator, your vacuum sealer, and some oxygen packs, and you're ready to go. This is all long-term storage, and you're saving a lot of money, right? And I'm going to keep on banging videos out on this, right? So everybody gets the point. I'm going to go into more complicated stuff. I think maybe in a couple of days I'm going to do some fruit, all right? Some apples, some bananas, and some oranges, all right? So like I said, I'm starting off slow with the stuff that doesn't need to be treated, that you just put them in a dehydrator, and that's it. Like I said, spinach and the mushrooms, 4 hours at 125 on the dehydrator, right? And then, you know, after an hour and a half or so, I look at them, I mix them up a little bit so everything dries nice and evenly. All right, hope this helped. I'll see you guys soon. Just one quick note. I know I said it before, okay? But make sure you put your oxygen absorbers in a mason jar and close it tight, because then they last a hell of a lot longer, all right, when you take them out of your bag. All right, that's just a quick note. See ya.